Hello and welcome. I have a couple of new things today. One is an apron that my friend gave me. And it's a really nice apron. I also took a trip to the chef store and bought something that I always used, fresh pasta sheets. Case of frozen, only available commercially, but the chef store is open to the public, so I'm gonna do that. And I had some leftover ground beef and some leftover fresh market sausage from the last pizza that I made. And we are gonna make meat ravioli and serve it with some of the roasted tomato sauce that I make from tomatoes that are in my garden. And let's get her done. We are going to cook our ground beef and ground sausage in this skillet. And for a little bit of fat, I'm using bacon fat because that's going to give it a little more porky flavor, or we want a lot of flavor in this meat filling for these raviolis. So when this melts down, we're going to add our meat. Our bacon fat is melted, and here's our meat. This is just over a pound of meat, a little over half a pound of ground sausage, of the bulk sausage, and about a half a pound of ground beef. Now we're going in. Break this up, mix it up. We're going to season it up with some salt and pepper. A little sprinkle of dried basil. A good sized pinch of dried oregano. Mix in those seasonings. Next thing that's going in is about a third of a sweet onion and about 4 cloves of garlic. And these are pretty finely chopped. Going in. Incorporate them into our meat. Cook it up. We're cooking up nicely. And I've decided at the last minute that I'm going to add a little sprinkle of crushed red pepper flake. That'll give it a little something, something. Our beef and sausage mixture is cooked up nicely. We're going to set it aside and cool it down. And then we're going to continue to process our meat ravioli filling. It's time to finish up our filling. The meat is cooled. And first thing we're going to do is make some breadcrumbs. This is about a couple of slices of, I buy some homemade sourdough from a neighbor of mine, and I always save the ends for crumbs. They make deliciousness. So in the food processor, and we're gonna make our crumbs. We're gonna give it a few pulses. All crumbed, our bread is finely chopped. I'm doing this because I want this filling to be well ground and nicely blended. So in goes our sausage and beef mixture. Our meat mixture is in. Now we're going to add a little bit of shredded mozzarella, as well as some finely grated Parmesan cheese. Next thing we're going to do is bind it up with an egg. Add that in. And we're going to run this processor and process it. See what consistency it comes out to. We're going to pulse this up and blend all the ingredients and bring it to a smooth, meaty, cheesy consistency. Here we go. scrape down the sides, and keep on going. Our beef ravioli filling is well blended and nicely bound, and now we're gonna build our ravioli. You know, meat ravioli was what I really wanted to make, but the pasta sheets I bought, they would not stick together, so they didn't work. And I'm thinking to myself, I bet you that they are pre-cooked, and maybe that's why they're not sticking together. So I've changed our plan. We're gonna take our sausage and beef filling and make some meat sauce lasagna roll-ups with our oven roasted tomato sauce and some ricotta cheese. And our meat filling is starting to get warm. And now here comes our previously frozen roasted tomato sauce. I don't know if I'm going to use it all. We shall see. I'd like to save a plain layer for the top of our lasagna roll-ups. Let's see if we can. Stirring it around. That's going to make a nice meat sauce. Can't wait to taste it when it's heated through. While our meat is heating up, we're going to mix some ricotta cheese. For our cheesy lasagna layer, we're going to mix it with an egg, large egg. Crack that in there. Some salt and pepper. A little onion powder. A little garlic powder. A little bit of basil. And now we're going to mix it together till it's very well blended. Our ricotta, egg, and seasonings is well blended. And now it's time for some shredded mozzarella cheese. Half a cup or so. And some grated Parmesan. A couple of tablespoons. And now we're going to mix that in too. This is going to be our cheesy layer for our lasagna roll-ups. We got to cool down the meat. We're going to make our pasta strips now. These pasta sheets are 10.5 inches long, which means that they will divide up evenly into 3.5-inch sheets. So what I'm going to do is do the bottom 3.5, just make a mark, and then half, 1, 2, 3, make another mark, and then turn them around, and do the other side. Now we're gonna make our strips. Line up the edge with the other edge. Nice even sheets. I'm gonna wrap them up in their papers and put them back in the fridge, and then we're gonna build our lasagna roll-ups. We got our nice even strips. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna start building our roll-ups. The first thing we're gonna do is spray a baking dish with some non-stick cooking spray. Next thing we're gonna do is spread a thin layer of our meat sauce all across the bottom. Our meat sauce is down. Now we're gonna make a roll. Next thing that's going on is a thin layer of our ricotta cheese mixture. Followed by a half-cup scoop of our meat sauce. Now we're going to roll it up as tightly as we can. Here's our first lasagna roll-up, tucking in the filling. And we're going to lay it seam side down on top of the meat sauce. And we're going to keep going. Our first row is in, and now we're going to do 2 more. And we're going to have 12 meat lasagna rolls. Our dozen lasagna roll-ups are rolled up and done, and now it's time to top them off with our remaining roasted tomato sauce. Now, top them off with some more mozzarella. Cannot wait to eat these. That sauce, that meat sauce is so good. Looking yummy. This is a heavy pan. In addition, for a little color and a little extra herbiness, we're gonna just give these a sprinkle of oregano, dried oregano. Our lasagna roll-ups are ready to go into the oven, but the first thing we're going to do to keep the cheese from burning is spray a piece of aluminum foil with some non-stick cooking spray. And we're going to cover this pan. And we're going to cook this for 20 minutes covered. And we're going to uncover it and brown up the cheese. So in we go. The lasagna roll-ups are all cooked up. And I got the broiler turned on. We're going to stick it under the broiler and brown up the cheese for just a few seconds or minutes. So then we're going to slice it and serve it. Ready to rock? We're ready to remove one of our rolls. Oop, that was the side of the other one. There we are. Make it flat. Looks so good. Can't wait to taste it. Here's our roll on a nice little plate decorated with a top of a basil plant from my garden. And now we're gonna cut it open and take a bite. Here's what we look like on the inside. Meaty, cheesy, tomatoey, and it's gonna be so delicious. Thank you for joining me while I tried to make meat ravioli and failed, but I made some delicious meat and cheese lasagna roll-ups. And now it's time to have a look on our fork. That's gonna be a delicious bite, and in we go.